जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. I'm sorry. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. We're reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela chapter 5, the activities of Sakshi Gopal. So we saw that this young Brahmana, when he saw that the old Brahmana is under a lot of pressure, so first he asked him with great respect, he offered obeisances to the old Brahmana when he came, uh, and then very humbly folding his palms. So this was his mood, and this was his approach in a very humble way, like a disciple. And then he offered obeisances, and then he said, "My dear sir, you had promised to give your daughter to me in marriage, and now you're not saying anything, right? That means it has been so many days since we came back. You never mentioned anything about it. What is on your mind, right? What have you, what is on your mind? Not what you have decided. Decision was already made. He made a promise in front of the deity. So it's not about what you have decided. Decision has been made, but now what is on your mind? What's going on your mind now?" So then the old Brahmana, he said, "I don't remember. I don't remember. What I said, what I didn't do, I don't remember." Like that. As soon as he said that, actually, maybe let me just go and check. Even before he said that, the did before he said that, did the uh, son come with a stick right away? Let's see. Uh, Not able to go back. This acha Akshaya Tritiya is coming. That's why I'm not able to see. Okay. I wanted to go to Veda. Okay. Yes, so this is where the young Brahmana came and offered his respectful obeisances. And then he said, "You have promised." Yes. He was silent. That's all. The old Brahmana didn't even say anything yet. He was just silent. He just remained silent. That's all. When the young Brahmana came and said, "My dear sir, you promised. Now you're not saying anything. What do you have on your mind?" And when he asked this, the old Brahmana obviously was very uncomfortable. He was in a great anxiety because he didn't want his family members to commit suicide. So he's just not saying anything. He was silent. Taking this opportunity, the young Brahmana came with a stick in his hand to beat, not young Brahmana, the son of this old Brahmana. The son, atheistic son of this old Brahmana, came with a stick to hit the young Brahmana. And then he started calling him bad names. "You low class, you want to marry my sister? Like a dwarf wanting to hold the moon in the hand." And of course, the poor young Brahmana, he didn't have any time to reason or speak because this man came with a stick to beat him up. So he just ran away from there. But the next day, he gathered all village people for justice. And then the leader of the village people summoned for the elder Brahmana against whom charges were made. So elder Brahmana was called. He came. Everyone is there. The son is there. Elder Brahmana, his son. Of course, the young Brahmana was there. Now, the uh, the people asked, right? First of all, the young man said that this old Brahmana has promised to give his daughter, and now he's going back on his word, right? Please ask him, is this proper behavior to promise and then going back on one's promise? So the people also asked, if you have promised, why you're going back on your word, right? If you have promised, then why you're going back? So then the old Brahmana said that actually I don't remember what I said, where I said what, when. I have no memory, right? I don't remember. As soon as this elder man said, "I don't remember," now his son came forward. He got an opportunity to weave his story. Then he came and he said, you know, this young man, this young Brahmana is a rogue. He's a rogue. My father, he went on a pilgrimage with a lot of money with him. And there was nobody else. This man was the only companion. And he saw my father has so much money, he became greedy. He wanted to take away the money. Then he stole all the money also. What he did, he fed my father with some intoxicant, datura, right? He fed some intoxicant. And then he took away all the money of my father. He made my father mad by that intoxicant. My father went mad actually. And then he took away all my father's money. And he said, "Oh, some thieves have stolen the money." He took all my father's money. And he says, "Some thieves have stolen it." And now he comes to my house and he's saying that you have promised to give your daughter, like this. So now the young Brahmana has turned the case around, right? Originally, the case was against the old Brahmana, that he promised and he's not giving. Now the young Brahmana is saying, no, this person is the one who is actually the culprit. He fed poison to my father, he made him go mad, he stole all his money, and now he's also claiming my sister's hand in marriage, like that. So now we'll read the next verse, what happened after that. तुम्हारा सकल लोका करहो विचारे Mora pitara kanyadite yogya ki ihare. Now all of you present here, gentlemen, you consider this, right? You consider what qualification does this man have for my father to give his daughter to him? You tell me, all of you consider. So of course it was a village, so people know everyone. So they knew that this old Brahmana is he's an aristocratic person, and he has wealth and he's very learned. His family is well known, and the young Brahmana is, not at all from any well-known family, nor did he have any wealth, nor was he highly learned. So that was there already. And on top of that, now this Brahmana's son is saying he's a thief, and he's also blaming his character. So he said, what qualification does this man? You consider, all of you consider and tell me, what qualification does this man have to marry my sister? All of you assembled here are gentlemen. Please judge whether it is befitting to offer this poor Brahmana my father's daughter. एता लोके रमने होइल संशय संभवे धन लोभे लोका छाड़े धर्म भय. Yes, see, if anybody told you a story like this, you would also become suspicious. Oh my God, because Kali Yuga, right? In Kali Yuga, people look very trustworthy. Just yesterday we were reading in Srimad Bhagavatam, or this morning for you, we were reading uh, Kamsa was so affectionate, isn't it, to his sister Devaki. If that Akashvani had not happened, who would have suspected that he can be so demoniac? He could kill his own sister. If that Akashvani didn't happen, he would probably be like a really very affectionate, loving brother, right? And that was not even Kali Yuga. So basically, demons. In Kali Yuga, the demons' population is more. But demons are like that. You cannot trust them. You cannot trust when they will change. You cannot trust. So, when they heard this, the people, that this young Brahmana, he looks so nice, but my God, he has all this scheme, right? He's plotting so many things. He looks so innocent. They're getting some doubt, really, like that, suspicious. They became suspicious. Yeah, it makes sense. This person has so much wealth, and if he marries, when you marry, what will happen? Like through the daughter, you get dowry and so many things you can get. And also now you're connected to a big family. Now you have big name. So using that name, you can exploit other people outside also. So makes sense, because he's a poor man and the other is a wealthy man. Poor people can do that. Eta shuni lokera mane hoila sanshay. They got a doubt in their mind. Sambhave dhana lobhe loka chhade dharma bhay. Yes, out of greed for money, or wealth, people can give up their dharma. The fear of dharma. What is the fear of what is dharma here? You should not cheat another person, right? He stole wealth, the son said. He stole wealth, and he's also falsely, he fed intoxicant, he fed poison to this old Brahmana, and now he is, through that, he's trying to take away now the daughter also. It's possible. Why? Because out of greed for wealth, man can do anything. He can even lose the fear of dharma out of greed for wealth, right? Out of greed, one can lose his sense of discrimination of what is right and what is wrong. Out of temptation, he can just, it's okay if I just didn't do it once. Happens. If there is no integrity, then it happens. Or when you are When the modes of passion and ignorance are prominent, it happens. So the people considered, yeah, it's possible. So now they also got a doubt about this young Brahmana. Eta shuni loke ramane hoilo samshay sambhave dhana lobhe loka chade dharma bhay. Hearing all these statements, all the people gathered there became a little doubtful. They thought it quite possible that because of attraction for riches, one might give up his religious principles. तबे छोटा विप्र को है सुनो महाजन न्याय जिनी बारे को है असत्य वचन. Oh, Mahajans, right? Oh, respectable people, oh, exalted people of the village, please hear me. Nyaya jini bare ko hai asatya vachan. Now, to win the argument, right? Now, to get an upper hand here, in the court of law, there is argument, right? Debate. Like each person, there's a prosecutor and there is a defendant lawyer. So both of them are putting forward their arguments. What is the purpose of their arguments? They want the judgment in their favor to prove themselves not guilty. Themselves means their uh, client, right? People. So to prove them not guilty, they are putting forward so many arguments. Now, does this mean that all their arguments are true? Not necessary. How can both be true? One person is culprit, but still, if you have an expert lawyer, he will prove even right as wrong and wrong as right. That's their business. Not that you have to, you know, hold justice up. That's not the point. I have to get my money. Kali Yuga. So this young Brahmana is saying he's telling false, he's telling lies, mithya vachan. His words are not true. He's speaking untrue words. Why? Simply to get the judgment in his favor, to win the argument. He's telling lies. तबे छोटा विप्र को है सुनो महाजन न्याय जिनि बारे को है असत्य वचन. At that time the young Brahmana said, my dear gentlemen, please hear, just to gain victory in an argument, this man is lying. এই विप्र मोर सेवाय तुष्ट जबे होइला तोरे आमी कन्या दिबो आपने कोहिला. So the young Brahmana himself said, ei vipra mora sevaya tushta jabe hoila tore ami kanya dibo apne kohila. No, what this young man is saying, it's not true. He's telling lies. It's not that I am claiming, I am demanding, and I am trying to steal his daughter. It's not true. This old Brahmana, when he was very completely satisfied with my service to him, out of his own accord, on his own, he said, I want to give you my daughter. I didn't even ask for his daughter. When he was pleased, very pleased with my service, on his own, he said, I want to give you my daughter. This young man is lying. Ei vipramora sevaya tushta jabe hoila tore ami kanya dibo apane kohila. Being very satisfied with my service, this Brahmana said to me of his own accord, I promise to hand over my daughter to you. तबे मुई निषेधिनु सुनो द्विजवरा तुम्हारा कन्यार योग्य नहीं मुई वरा. When he offered his daughter to me, I said, I refused. I said, listen, O best of the Dvijas, O best of the Brahmanas, तुम्हारा कन्यार योग्य नहीं मुई वरा. I am not a fit groom for your daughter. I said no when he offered. At that time, I forbade him to do this, telling him, O best of the Brahmanas, I am not a fit husband for your daughter. Kaha tumi pandita dhani paramakulina, kaha mui daridra murkha nicha kulahina. I told him, where you are, wealthy, very learned, wealthy, and Paramakulina, you're from an extremely aristocratic background, and where I am a poor, uneducated, low class person with no aristocracy whatsoever. How can I marry your daughter? Right? So I forbade him. Whereas you are a learned scholar, a rich man belonging to an aristocratic family, I'm a poor man, uneducated, and with no claim to aristocracy. तबु एई विप्र मोरे कोहे बार बार तोरे कन्या दिलुम तुम्ही करहो स्वीकार. Even though I forbade him so many times, he kept saying again and again, I will give my daughter to you. I have decided. You simply say yes. Please just accept her. Again and again, he insisted. I have made up my mind. I'm going to give my daughter. I'm giving you my daughter. You simply say yes, like this. He was after me. Still, this Brahmana insisted. Again and again, he asked me to accept his proposal, saying, I have given you my daughter. Please accept her. तबे आमी कहिलाम शुनो महामती तुम्हारा स्त्री पुत्र ज्ञातिरा ना होबे सम्मति. I also said at that time that, oh great person, Mahamati, right, very intelligent person, listen to me. You may want to give me your daughter, but your wife, your children, your relatives, they are not going to consent to this marriage, to this proposal. Right? You are saying again and again. First of all, I said no. He kept on insisting, asking me again and again. And then I said, yes, you may want to do this, but your family members will not accept it. I then said, please here, you are a learned Brahmana. Your wife, friends and relatives will never agree to this proposal. कन्या दिते नारीबे हबे असत्य वचन पुनरपि कोहे विप्रा कुर्या यतन. कन्या दिते नारीबे हबे असत्य वचन. I told him, the young Brahmana is saying, I told him your family is not going to accept this proposal. You will not be able to give your daughter to me. You won't be able. You are saying you will give, but you will not be able to give because your family members, relatives, nobody is going to agree. Then you will promise me here, and because your family members are not agreeing, you won't be able to do it, and your words will become false. Being a Brahmana, your words will be false. Punarapi kohe vipra koriya jatan. And I tried again to stop him from this. No, don't say this. Right? Don't make such a promise which cannot be fulfilled. Unnecessarily, you will become a liar. Don't say this. My dear sir, you will not be able to fulfill your promise. Your promise will be broken. Yet, again and again, the Brahmana emphasized his promise. Kanya tore dilum dvidha na kori ho chitte atma kanyan dibo keva pare nishedite. In spite of my telling him like this old Brahmana, elderly Brahmana, said, I will give my daughter to you. Don't have any doubts in your mind about this. That, oh, maybe this person may not be able to give the daughter. It's going to be. Don't doubt at all. I'm giving you my daughter. Atma Kanya Dibo. I'm giving my daughter, my own daughter. I'm not giving someone else's. My daughter. Who has the power to stop me? Like this, he said. I have offered you my daughter. Do not hesitate. She is my daughter, and I shall give her to you. Who can forbid me? तबे आमी कहिलाम दृढ़ करी मना गोपालेरा आगे कहो ए सत्य वचन. So then when he was really determined, then I said, all right, now if you are really sure this is what you want to do, then your words have to be truthful, right? First of all, I said, don't do it. And I tried in many ways to stop him. But when he kept saying, no, I'm giving you, you must accept. Then I said, all right, now you say these truthful words in front of Gopal. That means you cannot go back on your words, right? तबे आमी कहिलुम दृढ़ करी मना गोपालेरा आगे कहो ए सत्य वचन. At that time, dृढ़ करी mana means I concentrated my mind, right? So the young Brahmana, dृढ़ करी mana. First he was like, no, I don't want, because it's not going to happen. But then when he saw that the elder Brahmana was insistent, and he also focused his mind on Gopal with great sincerity, with great earnestness. And then he requested the Brahmana to make the promise before Gopal deity. Please come and speak in front of Gopal deity. Tabe iho Gopalera agete kohila tumi jano ei vipre kanya ami dila. And I told in front of Gopal, or this person said, Tabi iho Gopalera agete kohila. This person, this elderly Brahmana said in front of Gopal deity, tumi jano ei vipre kanya ami dilo. Oh Gopal, you should know. See, you are the witness that I am giving my daughter to this young Brahmana. Like this, he told in front of the deity. Tabe iho Gopalera agete kohila tumi jano ei vipre kanya ami dilo. And this gentleman said in front of the Gopal deity, my dear Lord, please bear witness. I have offered my daughter to this Brahmana in charity. তবে আমি গোপালের সাক্ষী করিয়া কহিলাম তারপদে মিনতি করিয়া তবে আমি গোপালের সাক্ষী করিয়া I made Gopal the witness after he said that, oh Gopal, here I am giving my daughter to this, in front of you I am giving my daughter to this young Brahmana. At that time I, the young Brahmana, saying, I made Gopal the witness. Making Gopal the witness, I said, I actually made a petition, a request at the lotus feet of Gopal. Accepting the Gopal deity as my witness, I then submitted the following at his lotus feet. Jadi ei vipramore na dibe kanya dan sakhi bolaimu tomae hayyo savadhan. So if this elder Vipra goes back on his word of giving his daughter to me, I am going to call on you as a witness. Savdhan. Okay? Gopal, please know, please understand, keep this, if, or be alert, right? If this elder Brahmana does not give his daughter to me, if he goes back on his word, I'm going to call you as a witness. If this Brahmana later hesitates to give me his daughter, my dear Lord, I shall call on you as a witness. Please note this with care and attention. এই বাক্যে সাক্ষী মোরা আছে মহাজন যারা বাক্যে সত্য করি মানে ত্রিভুবন. এই বাক্যে সাক্ষী. So whatever I have said so far in front of all of you, the witness of this, that what I'm saying is truth, the witness is the Supreme Lord, right? Ei vakye sakshi mora ache. So whatever I have said, I have a witness for this. Listen, O Mahajans, O assembled people, there is a witness for whatever I have said. Jara vakya satya kori mane tribhuvan. And who is my witness? That witness's words are accepted as the absolute truth by the three planetary systems, the whole world, Tribhuvan, right? Upper, middle, lower planetary systems. Everyone accepts his word as truth, and that person is my witness. So if he speaks, who can say that it is false? Nobody can say. Everyone in the three worlds accepts his words as the ultimate truth. And he is my witness. He is the witness of whatever I have said just now, that my statement is true. Translation. Thus I have called upon a great personality in this transaction. I have asked the Supreme Godhead to be my witness. The entire world accepts the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although the young Brahmana described himself as having no claims to aristocracy, And being an uneducated common man, still he had one good qualification. He believed that the Supreme Personality of Godhead was the topmost authority. Actually, this is the result of all learning. One who has this conviction, that person is the most learned person. Why? Veda ischa sarva ahameva vedya. Veda means knowledge, isn't it? Veda means knowledge. And Veda consists of all knowledge, whatever knowledge there may be in the entire creation and beyond this creation. All that is there in the Vedas. There's nothing, no knowledge which is outside of Vedas. Vedas. So, who do you call a learned person? Actually, nowadays, Kali Yuga, everyone is so degraded. We learn a little bit of some one subject and we think, oh, this person is learned. He learns one new program and oh, he's learned. But really, the standard of learning is what? So, in previous yugas, when people were very advanced, they would. Yesterday, we were reading in Mahabharata. Now we are reading about this story. Story means history of Dushyant Maharaj. We read in Srimad Bhagavatam. Now it's going on in Mahabharata. So Dushyant Maharaj meets Shakuntala. So this comes in Mahabharata. So Dushyant Maharaj, it's so elaborate actually there. Uh, he actually enters, after hunting in the forest, he hunting, and like he killed many thousands of wild animals, and then finally he enters he crosses a barren field, like barren land with absolutely no vegetation, and he enters into another forest which is extremely beautiful, and you can say celestial, right? Really wonderful forest. And there were so many tapasvis, so many sadhus, and then many ashrams. And there was a beautiful river, and on the bank of that river, there was one ashram on either side of the river. That ashram extended on either side of the river. That ashram belonged to Kanva Muni. So then he stationed all his soldiers outside and just taking a couple of ministers with him, he entered Kanva Muni's ashram, and inside the ashram also, outside also, just when he entered the forest, there was gurukuls. You know, constantly you could hear recitation of mantras from various, Sama Veda, Rig Veda, Atharva Veda. Like each group is reciting, and so many different types of learning activities. It's not just, it's so nice. Srila Vyasdev has written, when you read one particular history, Mahabharata means it's history. It's not just that you'll just find out that, oh, Dushyant Maharaj met Shakuntala and, they got married. That is there. But around that, so many details. Details means it shows us the culture. It shows us the culture, what's happening, what happens in the Vedic society, how people were. You get so much, and it's much more than what you can see. Sometimes even in old movies they show right a village setting, so you get some idea. Oh, this is how villages must be back then. For example, when you see Tukaram Ji Maharaj's movie, you get an idea. Oh, this is how villages are. But how much can they show you in a movie, right? How much detail can you show? That is why uh, several decades ago, the only entertainment was they would hear Mahabharata and Ramayana every evening. People would just sit and hear, come, and after they would take the dinner and they would go to one place in the evening. Everyone will just sit down and the speakers they'll come and they'll sing Mahabharata stories, and this is their entertainment. And this is a much richer experience than watching some movie or even reading a book. This is even better. And then they would go home. Srila Prabhupada also says, that he would go when he was young, when Prabhupada was young, when he would visit his grandmother's place, because it was still village. Prabhupada grew up in Calcutta, but in village, when he would visit his grandmother's place, every evening they would walk so many, a distance away, like a kilometer, or maybe a few kilometers away. They would walk, hear Mahabharata, and then come home and sleep. And all night you're dreaming Mahabharata. So nice. And this is their lifestyle every evening. Why Mahabharata? Because in that so many details are there. You'll actually see. So I was just telling you what is learning. What is learning? You will see there. The story is not about what is learning, what is not. It's about Dushyant Maharaj meeting Shakuntala. But there you'll see so many details of what is a Gurukul, what type of education happens, what are the activities of, the sadhus that live there, the tapasvis. So what are the different types? The details of exactly what they are studying is given there. How, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, his style of first he raises an objection from Purva Pakshi's side and then he will answer it from Siddhanti's side. This is the type of practice, learning that they would do in Gurukuls. One group of students, they will only come up with Purva Pakshi statement and now they will solve it by Siddhanti statement. That is their exercise constantly. And they're discussing what is Dharma, what is Adharma, so many subjects, and all the details are given by Srila Vyasdev. So that is a learned person. So learned person, who would you call a learned person? One who's studying the Vedas very scrutinizingly, who knows the Vedas, you would call him a learned person. So from that standard, this young Brahmana and old Brahmana, if you see, the young Brahmana is illiterate practically. Right? He didn't know all that. But what is Krishna's opinion? Krishna's opinion is the purpose of learning all these Vedas, all the Vedangas, and so much grammar and Chanda and Kalpa and Jyotisha, all this, the purpose of studying all this is what? The purpose is to understand Krishna. And what do you do when you understand Krishna? Understand Krishna, that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What should you do when you find out? Naturally, when you see someone greater than you, you bow down before that person. You have to surrender. So if somebody has this conviction that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he has so much faith in the Lord, his life is dedicated to the service of the Lord, even if he does not know any, Vedic Vedas or any mantras. Do you think he's illiterate? He's the most learned person because the uh, identity, right? How to identify the learning of a person through his conviction in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? So by your learning, if you come to this conclusion that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and then we should surrender to him, then you are the most learned person. This young Brahmana already had that. Although he was supposedly not educated, he believed that the Supreme Personality of Godhead was the topmost authority. He accepted the words of Lord Krishna without hesitation and he had firm faith in the Lord's consistency. See, he's talking to atheist and he's saying, Krishna is my witness. How much faith he has. According to Prahlad Maharaj, another authority on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such a staunch. So Prahlad Maharaj is another authority. Okay, one is this Brahmana, of course, he has full faith, but another authority is Prahlad Maharaj. According to Prahlad Maharaj, such a staunch and faithful devotee of the Lord must be understood to be the most learned scholar. Okay, so this is not just Krishna's statement. Of course, Krishna and his devotees, they will have the same statement. Like Brahmana in Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he made that Brahmana in the bank of the river, and he was
Correct.
crying.
Bhagavad
He
Gita.
was yeah, he was seeing the picture
South
and he
India.
was crying. Yeah,
Yes,
so
yes.
he hugged and he said that you are the one who understood Krishna.
Absolutely, absolutely, Mataji. Very nice connection. South Indian Brahmana. Yes. He didn't know how to read or write, but he would cry seeing Bhagavad Gita because Krishna is so kind. He is the Supreme Lord, but still he became a servant of his devotee. My God, and he would cry. Mahaprabhu said, "You have understood Bhagavad Gita, right? You are the most learned person. You have understood Bhagavad Gita," and he embraced it. Yes, that is the most learned person. Yes. So, and Prahlad Maharaj is also making the same statement. What Krishna says, right? Tanmanye dhitam uttamam. Adhitam. Adhitam means what? Studied. Right? Uttamam means the topmost. Who is the most learned person? Right? That person who has staunch faith in Krishna. You should understand him to be the most learned scholar. Tanmanye dhitam uttamam. Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 5th chapter, text 24. A pure devotee who has firm faith in the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is to be considered a most learned scholar. Right. The topmost aristocrat. Yeah, not just the most learned, but also the topmost aristocrat. Because when do you get aristocracy? When you have, a lot of pious credits. And the richest man in the whole world. What is your wealth? Your bhakti. One who has bhakti, bhakti is the highest wealth. Bhakti is the topmost, the result of the topmost, education. And aristocracy means, yeah, one who's very advanced, right? One who's very advanced. So who is most advanced? A devotee of the Lord. So anyone who has firm faith in the words of Krishna, you should consider that person the most learned devotee, I mean the most learned scholar, the topmost aristocrat, and the richest man in the whole world. All godly qualities automatically exist in such a devotee. Of course, Shubhada, Shubhada, right? If you are a pure devotee, all qualities, so godly qualities, demigod's qualities, automatically they come without separately endeavoring. By dint of his bhakti, he'll get all these qualities. In the preaching work of the Krishna consciousness movement, we, as the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, wow, Prabhupada is not saying twice, he's saying 4 times. We, as the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, fully believe in the words of Krishna and his servants, the disciplic succession. In this way, we are presenting the words of Krishna throughout the world, even though we are neither a rich man nor a very learned scholar, and even though we do not belong to any aristocracy. This movement is still being welcomed and is very easily spreading all over the world. Although we are very poor and have no professional source of income, right? There's no particular job from which monthly Prabhupada is getting his money. We don't have any professional source of income. Krishna supplies money whenever we need it. So many stories, right? Krishna supplies money whenever we need it. Whenever we need some men, Krishna supplies them. Thus it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita 6:22. Yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadikam tata. If one gets this love of Krishna, then after gaining this bhakti, all other gains look insignificant in front of this. If you get love for Krishna, if you get this conviction and faith in Krishna, someone may offer you wealth, someone may offer you a big post or so much money or whatever else there is. All that seems insignificant. Yam labdhva, after getting this, after getting that, right? Cha aparam labham manyate nadikam tataha. We don't find any other gain to be superior to this. We cannot. It's not possible. Actually, if we can attain the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, we do not need anything else. We certainly do not need those things which a mundane person considers to be material assets. That is why the pure devotees of the Lord, they live very simple. They don't think there's any value to material assets. Even if they have them, it is simply if without their endeavor, if they have them, they just use it in Krishna's service. But they don't endeavor or hanker for these things because they are the most wealthy people. They have the highest, they have the favor of Krishna. So they don't hanker. These are insignificant things. So we'll stop there. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So Aditi Lata Mataji, are you back home or still on the way?
What did you say, Master?
Boarding. Oh, okay, okay. Okay.
What did you say?
Oh, I said, are you back home or you're still on the
Yes,
way?
I came today, and Priyanka Mataji has kept Priyanka Mataji has kept a kirtan in her house for Gopal Krishna Maharaj.
Acha,
So
acha. Okay, okay.
we just came to her
Okay, okay,
house.
okay, okay. Jai. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Jai. Very nice.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I just came today in the morning, like in New York, and then in the afternoon at home in Philadelphia.
Wow. Wow. Very nice. I'm
Yeah.
missing out on all that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And today is Akshay Tritiya, right?
Yesterday was for you, yeah. Now today is Akshay Tritiya evening.
Yes.
Yes.
So I thought it's an auspicious day. Might
Yeah.
as well go.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Mataji. Very nice. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
All the best.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much for
Hare
hearing me and my, sorrows when I was really upset. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hare Krishna. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes. Okay, we'll end here.
Thank you,
We'll
Mataji.
update
Hare
Anubhav.
Krishna.